Welcome back. Thanks for being back. If you're back, this is entry number 2 of my projector diary series. And my first video is like just to give you a feel of my stream of consciousness. That's really what it felt like to me. For those who may not know me, and for those who are getting to know me. So that's really how my stream of consciousness is. It's just the first few thoughts how I feel about being a projector in a manifesting generator and generator dominant society. So this time we got notes. We got notes, and in this video I want to cover strategy. Um, your strategy is how you are meant to navigate your life. So everybody has a strategy. Projector strategies are the same, like for the other types of the other human design types. They have their strategies as well. Like I said, I will be focusing on projectors. So projectors strategy for life is waiting for the invitation. And actually, let me rewind. A projector, to me, as my interpretation, is an insightful, observant guide who see the bigger picture and see things that others cannot, whether it be about themselves, whether it be, no, not about themselves. We'll come back to like that later, but whether it be in other people or like situations that you may have been given, we are here to see through it and to provide an insightful solution. Also, a projector, if you want to picture one in your head, just picture like a sage or a seer. That's the vibe that projectors give off when they are operating in alignment. So going back to strategy and what is a projector strategy, which is waiting for the invitation. Now when you hear waiting for the invitation, it just sounds like I don't want to do that. It sounds like, who wants to sit and wait when I don't have time to wait? I don't have time to do XYZ. I don't have time to entertain. Hey man, while you're waiting on the invitation, prepare. That's the it of it. Is waiting for the invitation. While you're waiting, prepare. Prepare what? Prepare you. Like this whole conversation we've had today, this whole diary entry today has been about you, because it's going to sound selfish. It may come off as like entitled or egotistical, but it's not even that, because you're a student. You are a student to yourself. You have not been this version of yourself before. You don't know what the fuck going on here, and it's all very new. So have grace with yourself. Be patient with yourself, because the shoulda, woulda, couldas ain't gonna get you nowhere further. You could have been did that, but you didn't do it, and that's okay. That's okay, because now you can move from experience. Like before, you didn't know, but now you have some baby steps to build off of. So keep in mind that there is always something to do, but also keep in mind that resting from gospel is a form of worship. Like when you're honoring yourself, who else are you honoring? Who are you made of? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you know, like, you know what I'm saying. So it's like resting is honoring all that you are, but just understand and don't underestimate the power within you. Like I had to tell myself that. Of course, you always have people that guide you, they pour into you, they see that in you already, but until you see it within yourself, nothing is going to happen. No, like you're not going to get what you really want if you don't understand the power that you hold. It was also this post on Instagram. I can't remember. Woo, thirst. I can't remember the creator's name. So if you recognize this list, feel free to tag her. Ain't nobody stealing it. I just thought it was cool to share. But of course, she had a different title. But for me, this is a list of things that are not going to work as a projector. So as a projector, these things ain't gonna work for you. And learning to accept that and learning to navigate through it will help you in the long run. So let's get this list. Hustle mentality, blurry boundaries, pushing to make things happen, feeling responsible for other people's lives, falling for potential versus reality. That's also dating advice, but we not gonna go there because we're not gonna go there. Dismissing self-care as indulgent. Do not feel bad for treating yourself. Do not feel bad for treating yourself. Placing your worth on external success. Looking for what's going wrong versus what's actually going right. Trying to convince people to see you or value you. Now, this list, as I said before, this advice can be taken for the general public, but for projectors, this is not going to work for you in any capacity. And I'm saying it like with such like I'm advocating for it. I don't know the word for that. I have it. It was there, but all this like what I've learned within the past what I've learned with in the past when I think I started Projector Diaries back in like November 2023 is when I started. This list was so loud when I came across it because it was like, oh, I do kind of, yeah. I mean, but that one time, no, no, like y'all, I really talk like this to myself. this is this is how I I give myself the reality check because that's what you have to do. How I'm gonna give it to y'all? I ain't give it to myself first. That's not gonna work like that. So blurry boundaries, no, you're non-negotiable. Should be the boundaries you have with yourself. Otherwise, this shit ain't gonna work. If you're committing to adapting the projector lifestyle, especially for human design, we gotta do this shit. We have to be. I was gonna say balls deep, but that's not appropriate. But I'm gonna keep it anyway. But we just have to be all in it. You can't half-ass this, and you can add those to your list. And those non-negotiables are some things that you don't budge on. They're not meant for other people. They're meant for you to not budge on because that's part of your self-preservation. And I feel like with that validation and recognition, the more you practice your non-negotiables, the more you build trust within yourself. As you're building trust within yourself, you're giving yourself that recognition. You're giving yourself that validation because you're like, hey, I can do these things. Hey, I trust myself with these things. So that all ties into you recognizing yourself because you're growing with yourself and you're still like you're learning self. Another thing with waiting on the invitation is, mind you, these are all things for you to think about while you're in the waiting room. So while you're in said waiting room, these are small tasks. These are intimate things with yourself that you can start to implement. So while you're waiting on the invitation, will just kind of come. Like it'll come with more ease because you're allowing yourself more ease and you're learning yourself on an intimate level because that's essentially what it felt like to me because I had to learn to trust myself with myself. I had to learn to really develop and hone in on my intuition because what you're feeling like, bro, you're not tripping. And just a word of advice for projectors when you may be feeling unseen, you may not be feeling heard, you may feel like you're by yourself. Like you really may feel like you're not really genuinely being understood. And instead of like kind of reaching and searching for the answers, I want you to really sit with yourself first to figure out why you're feeling this way. Like being a projector honestly calls for you to be a therapist to yourself in a sense. Like, of course, I always promote going to therapy and mental health, take care of yourself however you see fit. But also remember to ask yourself those questions because you're not going to get your external validation is not going to fill you up like you think it is. So when you start to feel like that, start prioritizing self-care and introspection. For me, my self-care be worked out as going to the gym. I had weight gain goals. I had like, I want to change my diet, blah, blah, blah. And that became kind of like my self care. It was like setting physical goals for myself that I could accomplish now. So while I'm working on said self, things will start to make their way to me. Because you also have to recognize that you don't need recognition from everybody. And regardless of what audience you're trying to reach, or regardless of who you're trying to connect to, you have to genuinely just be yourself, because when you're just yourself, you're going to attract those opportunities that naturally align with you, because you already are putting yourself out there. Like, I'm really hoping this makes sense. But the more that you are authentic and relating to people and still doing the internal work, those people will naturally gravitate towards you. So you're never going to be alone. Don't ever feel like you're alone, especially in this world of social media. Granted, all spaces are not safe spaces, but you'll find somebody that can relate to how you're feeling. Another point that I wanted to make is that I became my own point of study to teach myself to tap in to understand how to better navigate for my best interests. Yeah, this is why we write things down, because it's really that's what it did. Sorry, I'm also thinking, because I became my own muse. Like, let me get to know this version of Nia, because 20-year-old version of Nia was still suffocating in a sense. And I take my time with this because I'm probably going to get emotional about it. But it's really just getting to know this version of myself and thanking myself for those past versions that got me to this point in the first place. With understanding that and knowing that, I feel that I'm more prepared to share, because honestly, I don't want to say I've hidden behind screens, or because I've always been the person, I just prefer to be in the background. I'll show you how shit work. I'll show you what to do. I'll create something for you, make it happen. I don't have to be presented, but for me to share my story, I need to present it and put some respect on it. And also, just share it in hopes of helping other people. That's the genuine thought. That's why I started my blog. That's why I came back with a newsletter. That's why I started my Substack. It's just speaking your experiences. You never know. Yo, these loud ass cars. I don't know if y'all can hear them, but I forgot my thought. It might come back to me. It might. Yes, sharing your stories with the world. You never know who you're going to reach. You never know who you're going to impact. You never know who you're going to inspire. You never know who you're going to piss off. So worth it, because it's teaching. I love learning about myself. I love learning how to navigate and to become more spiritually in tune, because that's what matters to me. It helps me navigate during this time in my life. It helps me to not freak out or express this worry or operate out of lack or force myself into something that I don't want to do. It allows me to sit with myself and to look at myself and to reflect on my past actions and my past self, so I can better navigate how I want to move forward. I'm learning to do that without being overly self-critical, because in my teenage years, I was not kind to myself. As I got into my 20s, I suppressed those emotions, had this hard exterior, and it's just like, when I turned 30, it was really like, I'm letting all this heavy shit go, bro. I'm not doing this no more. In finding that, and then in learning my human design of, I'm not even designed to operate like that, bruh, changes immediately. How can I do this with space? How can I do this with the time that I have? Because I know that I'm being prepared for so much more. Yeah, I think we got it. Yeah, I got it. I got bug bites. I need to is this on? Oh shit, my bad.